reception after this, right out in the hallway. In the sponsor areas. Make sure you hang out for that. But without further ado, please let me introduce to you the closing keynote. He is the CMO of Chevrolet. Please put your hands together, everybody, for Timothy Mahoney, everybody. Timothy.
Thank you. How you doing? I guess I'm too late for the raffle, huh? Good afternoon, and it's really nice to be here with you today and have a few minutes to talk a little bit about Chevrolet and what we're doing sort of in the space of digital. I know in the last couple of days you've covered an awful lot of ground, from strategy and tactics to measurement, and it's been a lot of great information, I'm sure. But now as the conference draws to a close, I think it's probably a good time to step back and think about what all of these exciting tools are enabling us to do. And for me, as a marketer, a brand person, it all comes back to one thing, and that's about telling great stories. You know, marketing today is about connecting with customers and engaging with them on their terms. And digital really is the perfect medium that allows us to do that. I want to tell you about some of the ways we're using digital to tell stories at Chevrolet. And let me say right up front that even though this is a digital conference, not all of the examples will be digital. Some were inspired by and enabled by digital, which leads me, I think, to an important point, which is the real strength of digital is how it works hand in hand with everything else we're doing at Chevrolet. And more on that in just a moment. But first, a quick overview for those of you who don't know very much about the brand. Chevrolet's global footprint spans more than 115 countries around the world and 70 nameplates, which means we have a really great opportunity to tell our story. Chevrolet is the 4th largest brand in the world, and in fact, about every 7 seconds, someone is taking delivery of a Chevrolet somewhere around the world. Here in the US, we're an older brand. We're 104 years old, and we draw on a really rich heritage, loyal customer base with names like Corvette, Camaro, Silverado, Impala. But there's other markets around the world, like China and Korea, where we're really a very young brand and telling our story for the first time with models like Cruze, Spark, Trax, and Sail. In these markets, Chevrolet represents a new kind of freedom that comes with access to reliable and affordable transportation. And frankly, that's, I think, one of the exciting parts of being at Chevrolet right now. We have an opportunity to restore the brand to greatness here in the US and at the same time grow it internationally. The key to our success is to keep introducing new people to the brand. You know, keep reacquainting the ones who haven't tried us in a while and keep those loyal customers coming back. So now let me tell you a little bit about how we're doing that, and that stems from our marketing platform called Find New Roads. Find New Roads is really more than a slogan or a tagline at Chevrolet, and it does embrace that spirit of ingenuity that's been part of the brand since the very beginning. When we're talking about the technology in the Chevrolet Volt, which I happen to drive over here this afternoon, or the performance of the Corvette Z06, everything we're doing is driven by this North Star called Find New Roads. It's our brand promise not only here in the US, but around the world. And this philosophy has been embraced globally in markets from China and India to Brazil and even in the Middle East. Digital is helping us find new roads in our storytelling and making a connection back to the brand. And when we take the core values of the brand and add what we're learning about our customers around the world, we're able to deliver the right products and the right experiences. Ultimately, this will enable us to connect with customers by telling great stories. So let me share with you and take a look at one really great example, and that's the launch of the Colorado, which is our new midsize pickup. You know, Chevrolet placed a big bet on the Colorado, introducing an all-new product in a segment that most of the industry thought had really been left for dead. But how wrong they were. And with a little bit of faith and a little bit of imagination, we were actually able to restart a conversation with consumers that the market had really left behind. And the results so far have really been far exceeding what we could have ever imagined. So given the opportunity we had with a really groundbreaking product, how did we want to tell our story? Well, I think the basis of every great story is a consumer insight. And the consumer insight around Colorado is that a truck makes you cooler. You probably have friends that have a truck. You want to borrow it to move things and things like that. So fundamentally, when you have a truck, you have more friends. And so we came up with a film that originally started around that core idea of deep down, you know you want a truck. Let's take a look. Or not. It's not a silent movie, I promise.
Can a truck make you more handsome, more dependable, more rugged? We came here to find out. We talked to real people, including kids, old people, young single women, rich housewives, guys with beards.
Hello, thank you for coming.
We showed them 2 pictures of the same guy in the same location. The only difference, the vehicle behind him.
Which guy is more handsome?
Left. Guy with the truck.
He just looks, you know, more ba-bam.
Which man is sexier?
Truck. Truck, yeah.
Which one of these 2 guys would you rather have date your daughter?
I'm more likely to date car guy. But like if I'm just looking for a roll in the hay, truck guy is probably...
That truck is gonna protect my little girl. And I'm always concerned about getting her home safe.
Show me how a truck guy would shake my hand. Oh.
The guy with the truck would definitely have like a German Shepherd dog. I mean, come on. Like a tarantula, a rattlesnake.
What kind of pet would this guy have?
Maybe like some birds.
If this guy could grow facial hair, what would he grow?
Just a soul patch.
The truck guy.
Mutton chops.
In a zombie apocalypse.
Truck? What's the matter with you?
Which one is cooler?
He's driving a 4-door truck. That says it all. He's living and he's existing.
He's like, yeah, I'm cruising and I'm gonna go to the beach now. And this guy's like, yeah, I'm gonna go home and watch TV.
I'm not sure of the definition of cool, but if it means doing what he wants, when he wants, the guy with the truck.
After 12 groups in 2 days, we learned that truck guys are 85% more handsome,
that one right there has way more sex appeal,
76% more resourceful,
I'm gonna call him. If you're in a jam, call the truck.
and 100% more likely to have a badass pet.
Timberwolf Husky.
Clearly, people feel strongly about truck guys.
It is the guy.
Hi, I'm Scott, and this is the all-new 2015 Chevy Colorado.
With built-in 4G LTE Wi-Fi, best-in-class fuel economy,
It feels like a car.
advanced safety features,
It's wonderful.
and a flexible cargo bed.
You guys want to check out the bed?
Be careful how you say that.
You know you want a truck. The all-new Chevy Colorado.
So, yeah. No, I think really an amazing truck, but what that started to do was create a personality for the vehicle itself. And they were obviously meant to be a bit funny, a bit sticky, but back to the theme of this conference, it was all a digital play, right? That was the launch strategy for the vehicle. And then just when we were about ready to launch, something happened last year. Some of you might have actually observed it. I happened to be in Brazil and I got Facebook lit up and a whole bunch of texts from my son and friends, and it happened at the World Series when we decided to give the MVP player a new Colorado. So let's take a look at what happened.
You have some fallout from one of the most talked about moments in the World Series.
Yes.
Nothing to do with baseball, though.
Nothing to do with baseball. Regional Chevy manager Rick Wilde is presenting a new truck to the Giants MVP when his nerves got the best of him.
We have also been proud of the latest and greatest technology in our truck lineup. It combines class-winning and leading, technology and stuff.
Okay, so mistakes happen, but usually not in front of 24 million people. Within minutes, the Twitter sphere lit up. We had a decision to make. Ignore it or embrace it. We embraced it, immediately taking hold of the conversation socially, claiming the hashtag technology and stuff to promote the new Colorado, and driving traffic to the website, which we updated overnight. We also added our new catchphrase to our TV spots.
The all-new Chevy Colorado with technology and stuff.
And ran print ads the very next day. Created new logos and a new football jersey. Took it to the track. And even made a music video.
Technology and stuff. Technology and stuff.
And guess what? People noticed. Boy, did they notice.
Here's Rick Wildy. Thank you very much. Look at that.
The 2014 World Series MVP got a Colorado from this car brand, whose rep noted its technology and stuff. Greg.
Who's Chevy?
Over 4 days, almost 24,000 unique conversations claimed the hashtag technology and stuff, helping it become the 6th most engaged tweet of 2014, delivering almost 63 million impressions. We captured more than 70% of conversations on trucks and generated over $5 million in earned exposure. When circumstances handed Chevrolet lemons, we made lemonade and stuff.
So I think kind of a lesson there, right? It's a great example of the power of digital. Started as a digital film. We took it into the kind of the experiential piece of it by handing over the truck to the MVP. And something happened, right? Somebody was listening in our social care center and tweeted out technology and stuff. And from there, it became amplified and it made everything else that we do more powerful. You know, the Chevy team came together, I am very proud to say, in unbelievable speed. Those ads appeared the next day, the next morning, the mastheads were changed and you saw that. And we turned kind of everything into an incredibly powerful conversation and positive conversation about the brand. And keep going a little bit further if we can. And the other thing is that, you know, we had pulled all this content ahead about the You Know You Want a Truck video series, and we decided to pull it even further ahead. So the videos were really successful. We expanded them into mainstream television. So it's an example of normally what happens, or a lot of brands, they'll start with TV and then they'll move it into digital. We started in digital, we moved it the other way. But at the end of the day, to my earlier point, this is an example how everything has to work together and kind of how we're finding new roads in the area of marketing. And you know, they say sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. Yeah, maybe so. But I think you can also make your own luck. And this is an example of how we did that with technology and stuff. What made it really possible was that we responded quickly, unique opportunity, people were listening, and that's what created the opportunity for us. And I think this is, like I said, where our social care team came into play, and that made all the difference. A couple of years ago, in May of 2013, we built a 6,500 square foot social media center in our corporate headquarters down the street. And it acts as really a state-of-the-art listening center where we monitor and we engage in conversations that allow the social media teams from both marketing, communications, and customer care to kind of work together to solve these challenges. It operates 7 days a week, and it's staffed by a complete team of highly trained professionals that are monitoring really the major channels like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, but also the automotive enthusiast forums that are out there. They monitor a huge number, and in any given month, it's about 5,000 conversations and customers that they're supporting. They also engage with our dealers because that's an important part, right, of handing them off and providing customer feedback and you know what, even helping them sell a few vehicles along the way. So when the technology and stuff thing kind of hit the fan, it really wasn't completely about luck. It was about that we were listening as well, and it was by design. So I think another point around digital is listening's a big part of the way we tell stories now, and another important dimension of how we're finding new roads in marketing. So let me show you another example of how we're connecting with customers around the world. And that's our sponsorship of Manchester United. It is perhaps the most popular, certainly the most valuable sports franchise in the world, in really the most valuable sport, or most popular sport all over the world. I think one of the great things about this sponsorship is that the fan base aligns really well with Chevrolet's growth around the world. With the majority of the fans in growth markets where Chevrolet really tends to be pretty young. For example, estimates are about 650 million people follow Manchester United, and over 300 million of them are in Asia. So it's a great exposure opportunity for Chevrolet as we work to really build our brand in the enormous and fast-growing Asia-Pacific market. And because our audience is global and very diverse, and really the first screen that they tend to look at is in mobile, it's a perfect opportunity for digital. A good example of that is when we revealed the Chevrolet bow tie for the first time on the Manchester United shirt. And we focused on really telling a global story, a compelling story that could live on multiple platforms, not just digital, but also be experienced on the go, and also really allowed for fan personalization, because a lot of these programs that were involved are really for the fans and for the customers. We started with a video and we debuted it online, and it's since been used at live events and in television broadcasts. We staged probably the largest soccer game in the world last year out at Ann Arbor at the Big House. And so we used it there as well. But we wanted to give the fans kind of an early way to get involved in this new shirt that was transitioning to Chevrolet. And I'll give you a kind of an example you'll see in a minute. I hope you're not recording any of this, but, and you'll see, yeah, put that camera down right there. It is about uploading your photo into this and making it truly a personalized experience. So let's take a look.
And after the break, we'll be discussing Manchester United's latest signing.
Yeah, it's great to have you at Manchester United. I'm really looking forward to playing with you.
Can I just ask, are you...
Come and meet all the lads.
That'll be yours, mate.
Good luck, mate.
Good luck, mate.
Welcome to the club.
So kind of inspired by Jib Jab, those of you who've done those before, it allowed us to push this out around the world and allow fans to upload their photo and then post it to social media. The other thing that we've done in the digital space is we've done what we're calling a Chevrolet Mascot program, and we've amplified our second year of the program just a few weeks ago. As part of this program, and we're calling it now Beautiful Possibilities, we brought 11 children from around the world and really gave them a once-in-a-lifetime experience by participating as Chevrolet mascots at Manchester United versus Liverpool match in Old Trafford. And with millions of fans watching, the mascots entered the pitch with the Manchester player who wore their name on their shirt, on the back of it. And then just moments before the actual match started, the players took the shirt off and handed it off to the kids. In the days leading up to that match, the children had a chance to meet Manchester United legends. They attended a soccer school, they toured the stadium, and for many of these kids, it was truly a once-in-a-lifetime experience. And each child's story, from their selection as mascots to the live event at Old Trafford, was captured on video and then featured on our fan website, ChevroletFC.com. So let's take a look at the online video that talks about the mascots as an entire group, but online you can find their individual 11 stories. So again, I think a very nice tradition, tugs at the heartstrings a little bit, and something that we feel is what we call a global approach to marketing. It allows us to take a global platform and localize it and then produce content and distribute it. It's also an example of how we're taking digital content and pushing it out really into the earned media. And it's one more way that digital, I think, works hand in hand with an event and everything else that we're doing to tell compelling stories about the Chevy brand and draw the customers in. So nice film, right? Really good thing to do. As far as the results, and this was just about 2 weeks ago, we've had 37 million online views of the content. And we've now grown our fan base on ChevroletFC.com up to 1.5 million fans. So stuff like this, content like this in the digital space is drawing people closer to Chevrolet. So I have one more example, because I heard him say earlier, drinks are coming. So, but it's an example, I think, that's about, it's an online video, and we'll move now. We started in the US, we went kind of around the world. We're going to go down to Brazil for a second. And it's around the International Women's Day. And just a bit of perspective, Brazil is the 3rd largest market in the world for Chevrolet. And in fact, we have a really strong heritage there. This year, we're celebrating 90 years in Brazil. Now, International Women's Day has been observed around the world for more than a century. And in some countries, it's actually a national holiday, kind of at the level of Mother's Day, minus Hallmark, I suppose. And in recent years, the day's really focused on a little bit less on the discrimination of women and more on the advances that women have made, while still kind of emphasizing that there's an awful long way that we need to go. So in that spirit, our market, our Brazilian market, created a film to kind of find a positive, uplifting way to support International Women's Day, and at the same time, like, poke a hole a little bit in some of the stereotypes that we all have. And it was quite impressive, and it makes me feel very proud to be representing the brand. So let's take a look at the last film. So when we produced the film, we had a rather modest goal, right? I mean, it was maybe we get about 300,000 people to take a look at it. That was what the team had sort of settled on, was a realistic sort of stretch goal. When it appeared, we very quickly went to 2.7 million. So a lot of stickiness to it, a little bit of honesty in terms of, you know, again, poking at the stereotypes that boys like cars and girls like dolls. And there were more than 40,000 likes and over 3,000 positive comments around the film itself. So for me, it's another example of how we're connecting with customers in different parts of the world using digital, using content, and more importantly, as I said at the outset of today's meeting, marketing is about telling stories. And digital gives us a tremendous opportunity to tell stories in new and really exciting ways. You know, today, and you know this better than I, there are about 2.3 billion smartphone users around the world. And I travel to China a lot, and it's unbelievable, but the estimates are in another 18 months, that's going to grow to 3.3 billion. So the growth is phenomenal, but it also goes just beyond phones itself. In 2016, we expect to be part of that connected world, and all the vehicles sold here in the US will be equipped with 4G LTE Wi-Fi connectivity. By 2020, we expect that goal to reach 75% globally in terms of connected cars. So that's why digital is so important, and for us, much more than just a tool or a platform. It's really a foundational element from a marketing and a brand building perspective. It's a very efficient way for us and an effective way to make connections with customers all over the world. And I really believe as marketers, we need to continue to find new and interesting ways to kind of expand these connections. We need to find ways to link digital with other forms of marketing so that it doesn't sit in isolation. And most of all, we need to be good storytellers, right? There's a lot of competition for people's time. So with that, I'd like to say thank you for the opportunity to be here at the close of the conference. I wish you all the best, and I wish you all great success as you find new roads. And with that, I could take a couple of questions, but not too many, because like I said, I hear the bar opens in a few minutes. So you're all blinded to me. Is there any? I can see one hand. Yes, sir.
Other than Google and Facebook, what's left over on the digital budget for programmatic, native, and location-based, and if, you know, just in general?
Yeah, so, you know, I have kind of that standard answer, whether it's digital, whether it's media, whatever it is. We normally don't talk about where we're investing our media dollar. What we are starting to do, and I can give you this sort of overview, we're thinking about 70% in really what we consider foundational kind of media, things that you might almost say are more traditional, 20% in a little bit experimental, and then 10% in just this sort of stuff like this, right? That gets harder to monetize, but is important. So unfortunately, I can't do that, but I think we've got a good balance of doing the basics and then pushing in new ways. Okay. Is there another? No? Good? Okay. A second person I can see. Yes, ma'am.
Externally for opportunities in terms of content and program sponsorships for digital, or do you primarily do everything in-house?
I'm sorry, do we do everything? So I think it's a really great question. The beauty about content is it can come from everywhere, right? And we are building for the Chevrolet brand a content studio that includes work that we will produce, and it kind of almost to the example of how we partition the budget at a very foundational level. There's you know, basic how-to stuff that you need to do. There's things that are very much tied to specific products, you know, And then at the higher level, more emotional stuff, right? The kids going to Old Trafford, that kind of example. But at the same time, it's not about everything that we're doing. The team is working to really curate it all over, and this is something that we're at the early stages of that. But I think at the end of the day, that's the one challenge, or one of many challenges with digital, is feeding the monster, if you will, in terms of content, right? I mean, people want to constantly entertain, they want access, they want everything, and so we'll get to a point where it's not all great ideas are coming from 7 blocks away, but truly we're reaching out to our network in our 115 countries, but also through social listening, through user-generated content, kind of, I think curating might be a good way to talk about it. So, okay.
All right. Let's give Tim a really nice round of
Thank
applause
you very
for
much.
being here with us. Thank you, Tim.
Thanks a lot.
Appreciate
Yep.
it very
Thank
much.
you. Thanks. Thanks a lot.
And again, thank you all for coming out. We will be posting presentations. We have permissions to post. We'll send you an email for SlideShare access on that. We'll also send you a survey. Let us know. This is your event. Let us know which speakers you liked, who you didn't like. We hope to do better for you next year. Let's give our MC host, Mike Albanese, a nice round of applause as well. Thank you again, guys. Hope to see you next year. The bar is open. Take care. Drive safe.